Have you ever woken up and felt like your legs just gave up on you? Like they're heavy, shaky, or simply not your own anymore? Like someone swapped them out overnight for a weaker pair? If that sounds familiar, I want you to hear this loud and clear. You're not the only one, and you don't have to face it in silence. For so many people over 60, that loss of strength, especially in the legs and arms, sneaks up little by little. One day it's a little harder to get off the couch. Next week the stairs seem a little steeper. Then suddenly you're avoiding walks, skipping gardening, or saying no to simple outings just because you feel weak. And that's not just frustrating, it can feel scary. But here's the thing, this isn't your fault. What you're feeling is something very real called sarcopenia. It's the age-related loss of muscle mass and strength, and it affects nearly everyone over the age of 60 in some way. But that doesn't mean you have to accept it. There are simple, natural ways to fight back. And one of the most powerful changes you can make starts with what you eat before bed. Yes, you heard that right. What you eat at night can mean the difference between rebuilding muscle while you sleep, or slowly losing it while your body runs on empty. Now I know bedtime might not seem like a big deal when it comes to nutrition. Most people worry about breakfast or lunch, but very few folks over 60 are thinking, what should I eat before I go to bed so I don't wake up weaker tomorrow? But guess what? That's exactly the time your body does some of its most important repair work. During deep sleep, your muscles are trying to rebuild, but if they don't have the right fuel, especially the right kind of protein, they can't do their job. Instead of getting stronger overnight, they slowly waste away. That's why I want to start with one simple tip you can try tonight, something backed by science, and even better, something you can find at your local grocery store. So let's talk about Greek yogurt. Not the sugary kind with fruit syrup on the bottom, but plain, unsweetened Greek yogurt. Ideally full fat or low fat if you prefer. Why is this such a game changer? Because Greek yogurt is packed with casein protein, which digests very slowly. That means it gives your muscles a steady stream of amino acids, the building blocks of muscle, all throughout the night. In fact, studies have shown that older adults who consume casein protein before bed can actually build more muscle over time than those who don't. It's like giving your muscles a bedtime snack that keeps them happy and working all night long. And don't worry if you're lactose sensitive. Greek yogurt tends to be lower in lactose than regular yogurt, and many people find they tolerate it much better. You can start with just a few spoonfuls an hour before bed and see how your body feels. Now, if dairy really isn't your thing, let's talk about another option that's just as powerful and just as easy to keep on hand: hard-boiled eggs. Yes, something as simple as a couple of eggs before bed can work wonders. Eggs are what we call a complete protein, which means they contain all the essential amino acids your muscles need to repair and grow. They also contain leucine, a key amino acid that tells your body, hey, it's time to build muscle now. And I know some of you might be thinking, but aren't eggs bad for cholesterol? The truth is, for most seniors, eating eggs in moderation is not only safe, but incredibly beneficial. More and more research is showing that dietary cholesterol from eggs doesn't necessarily raise blood cholesterol in the way we once thought. Of course, if you've got a unique medical condition, talk with your doctor. But for many people, a couple of eggs before bed is a gentle, natural way to fuel your body without spiking your blood sugar or overloading your digestive system. Speaking of blood sugar, that brings me to another food you might not expect to help with muscle, but it does, and that's kiwi fruit. Now hear me out. Kiwi may not seem like a muscle-building food, but it's a quiet little powerhouse. First, it's rich in vitamin C, which your body uses to make collagen, a protein that supports healthy muscles, tendons, and joints. That's especially important if you've got achy knees or weak ankles. But here's where it gets really interesting. Kiwi has been shown to improve sleep quality. And when you sleep better, your body has more opportunity to restore and rebuild muscle. So if you combine a kiwi or two with that Greek yogurt, or those hard-boiled eggs, You're giving your body both the nutrients and the rest it needs to stay strong. Now I know, changing your nighttime routine might sound like a small thing, but these little choices add up. Think about it. Every night you go to bed, your body is either rebuilding muscle or slowly losing it. Why not give it the tools it needs to do the job right? Imagine waking up in the morning and your legs feel just a little steadier. You're not afraid to step off the curb or climb the stairs. You can carry the laundry basket, open that heavy door, or even get back to dancing in the kitchen while your coffee brews. It's not a fantasy. It's what happens when you nourish your muscles, even while you sleep. And none of this means you have to cook elaborate meals or spend a fortune on supplements. It's about making smart, gentle changes that fit into your life. You don't have to overhaul everything. Just try adding one of these nighttime foods to your routine and notice how you feel over the next few weeks. Because you deserve to wake up strong. You deserve to feel steady on your feet. And yes, you can turn the tide on muscle loss, even if you've felt weak for a long time. Aging doesn't mean giving up your independence. It means finding new ways to support your body with love, patience, and just a little bit of knowledge. And if tonight you decide to give your muscles what they need, whether it's a spoonful of Greek yogurt, a boiled egg, or a juicy kiwi, you're already one step closer to waking up stronger, more energized, and ready to take on the day with confidence. So maybe last night, for the first time in a while, you reached for a little Greek yogurt before heading to bed. Or maybe you cracked open a couple of hard-boiled eggs, or sliced up a kiwi and thought, well, here goes nothing. If you did, good for you. That's the kind of small, meaningful step that can shift the entire way you age. Now let's keep that momentum going, because bedtime isn't just a time to rest, it's a window of opportunity. And once you understand what your body really needs while you're sleeping, you can give it the right tools to rebuild, repair, and restore. Not just drift into sleep and hope for the best. One mistake I see many older adults make, through no fault of their own, is skipping protein at night entirely. Either they think, I already had dinner, or they're worried about gaining weight. But here's something that might surprise you. Not eating enough protein at night can actually make it harder to stay at a healthy weight. Why? Because the more muscle you lose, the slower your metabolism becomes. Muscle is like an engine. It burns calories even when you're resting. So when muscle disappears, your energy, balance, and metabolism all start to lag behind. And that brings us to something simple but incredibly effective that you might already have in your pantry: a small scoop of peanut butter. Now, I'm not talking about half a jar or those sugar-filled brands with cartoon characters on the label. I mean a spoonful, maybe two, of natural, unsweetened peanut butter. What makes this so special for seniors looking to stop muscle loss? First off, peanut butter is rich in healthy fats and plant-based protein, which helps feed your muscles slowly through the night. It's also a great source of magnesium, a mineral many people over 60 are low in, without even knowing it. Magnesium helps regulate muscle function, reduce cramps, and even support sleep. And here's a bonus. Peanut butter's fat content helps slow digestion, which means if you pair it with a slice of whole grain toast or even a banana, you're giving your body a longer-lasting source of fuel, not a sugar spike that crashes before midnight. Now, I know some folks are cautious about eating too close to bedtime, worried it'll cause heartburn or interfere with sleep. And you're absolutely right to be careful. What you eat and how much matters. So let's talk about how to do it right. If heartburn is something you struggle with, try sitting up for at least 30 minutes after your bedtime snack. Don't lie flat right away. Let your food settle a bit and choose softer, more digestible options. For example, cottage cheese is another muscle-friendly bedtime food. It's high in casein protein, just like Greek yogurt, but it's even easier on the stomach for some people. Cottage cheese also contains tryptophan, an amino acid that your body uses to make melatonin and serotonin, natural sleep supporters. So with just a half cup before bed, you're giving your muscles the protein they need and helping your brain wind down for deeper rest. You might be surprised to know that poor sleep alone can lead to more muscle loss. In fact, research shows that just a few nights of bad sleep can make it harder for your body to build and maintain muscle, especially after the age of 60. That means if you're tossing and turning or waking up groggy, your muscles are working harder just to hang on. That's why what you eat before bed isn't just about muscle. It's about sleep too. The two are deeply connected. Let me share something I heard from a gentleman named Harold. He's 73, retired, used to be a mail carrier. He told me, "I used to wake up with legs that felt like broomsticks. Stiff, weak, just not mine. I thought it was just part of getting older." But Harold made one small change. Every night, he started having a piece of whole wheat toast with peanut butter and a glass of warm milk. That's it. No pills, no powders. Just that. After a couple weeks, he said the change was noticeable. He felt more stable in the morning. He didn't dread getting out of bed. That's the power of gentle, consistent fuel. And speaking of warm milk, yes, the old-fashioned remedy still holds up. If you're someone who enjoys it, a glass of warm milk before bed provides calcium, protein, and tryptophan, all of which can support sleep and muscle maintenance. It doesn't need to be fancy. And if dairy isn't your friend, there are now plant-based milks fortified with protein and calcium that can do the job too, like soy milk or pea protein milk. Just check the label to make sure it has at least 7 to 10 grams of protein per serving, and go for the unsweetened kind to avoid blood sugar spikes. Now, here's one more bedtime tip. Something so simple, most people forget it altogether. Drink a small glass of water. That's right, not a huge one. You don't want to be up all night in the bathroom, but just enough to keep your muscles hydrated. Dehydrated muscles are weak muscles. Your body needs water to transport nutrients, remove waste, and keep your joints moving smoothly. Especially while you sleep, a little hydration can make a big difference in how your body feels come morning. I know it can feel overwhelming sometimes. So many changes, so many tips. But if there's one thing to take from all this, it's this. Your body is still working for you, even after all these years. It may not be as fast or as flexible as it once was, but it's still rebuilding, still healing, still hoping you'll give it what it needs. A bedtime snack isn't just about filling your stomach. It's about sending a message that says, "I care about you. I want you to feel strong. You are worth nourishing." And let me tell you, when you treat your body with that kind of kindness and intention, it will respond. Bit by bit, step by step, you'll start to notice the difference. Not all at once, but maybe your balance improves. Maybe your legs feel steadier. Maybe your arms don't tire as quickly when you carry the groceries. These are the wins that matter. These are the quiet signs of progress. So tonight, when you're winding down, take a moment. Open the fridge. Reach for that yogurt, or cottage cheese, or a couple spoonfuls of peanut butter. Maybe warm a little milk. Give your muscles the gift of nighttime nourishment. You've taken care of others your whole life. Now it's time to care for yourself with the same tenderness. And tomorrow morning, we'll see what your body can do with a little love and a little fuel. Let's talk about something many seniors are missing, and they don't even realize it. Potassium. Now I know when we hear potassium, we usually think about bananas. And yes, bananas are a good source. But let's dig deeper. Potassium isn't just about avoiding leg cramps or keeping your heart happy. It actually helps your muscles contract and relax properly. Without enough of it, even if you're eating plenty of protein, your muscles can't do their job. They stay tight, weak, or just plain sluggish. So what's a bedtime-friendly way to get more potassium without keeping you up at night? Let me introduce you to a quiet hero, baked sweet potato. Yes, I know, sweet potatoes at bedtime? But hear me out. A small portion, about half a medium-sized one, makes for a surprisingly gentle, satisfying nighttime snack. It's full of potassium, vitamin C, and fiber, and it helps balance out the protein you're already eating. Plus, the natural sweetness can calm cravings and help you avoid late-night cookies or chips. Try this. Mash half a baked sweet potato with a dash of cinnamon and a tiny drizzle of olive oil. Warm it slightly. It's comforting, it's nourishing, and it supports muscle recovery and steady sleep. Now, while we're here, let's talk about one thing you don't want to eat before bed, especially if your goal is to protect your muscles. Refined sugar. I'm not saying you can never enjoy a cookie again, but eating sugary snacks right before sleep, think pastries, candy, even sweetened cereals, can actually interfere with your body's ability to enter deep, restorative sleep. And without deep sleep, your muscles don't get to do their overnight repair work. Worse still, sugar can cause a spike in blood sugar levels that drops sharply a few hours later, often right around 2 or 3 a.m., leaving you tossing, turning, or waking up groggy. And when you're tired, guess what? Your muscles feel even weaker. That's because fatigue magnifies everything. Aches, imbalance, even motivation. But don't worry, we're not here to give up sweet things entirely. Instead, try swapping that cookie or scoop of ice cream with something like frozen cherries. Yes, cherries, especially tart cherries. These little gems contain natural melatonin, which helps regulate sleep, and antioxidants that reduce muscle inflammation. In fact, athletes have used tart cherry juice for years to speed up muscle recovery after intense workouts. Now, I'm not saying you need to start running marathons, but if tart cherries can help a 25-year-old marathoner's sore legs feel better, imagine what they can do for your everyday muscle stiffness. You can eat them frozen like a little evening treat, or blend a few with some Greek yogurt for a smooth, muscle-friendly dessert. It feels indulgent, but works behind the scenes to soothe your muscles and support restful sleep. And while we're talking about things that often get overlooked, let's touch on something you can't taste, but you'll definitely feel: magnesium. I mentioned it briefly earlier, but it's worth digging into more deeply now. Magnesium is crucial for muscle relaxation. It also helps regulate blood pressure, blood sugar, and even mood. Many seniors, especially those over 65, don't get enough magnesium through diet alone. If you've ever felt restless legs at night, or woken up with random foot cramps, a magnesium deficiency could be playing a role. And the good news is, it's easy to fix. There are several foods that are naturally rich in magnesium and gentle on digestion at night. One of the best? Pumpkin seeds. Just a small handful, maybe a tablespoon or two, can give you a good dose of magnesium, iron, and zinc. They're easy to sprinkle on top of cottage cheese, yogurt, or even blend into a nighttime smoothie. Plus, they're crunchy, satisfying, and won't spike your blood sugar. Speaking of smoothies, let's pause for a moment here. If you're someone who doesn't love eating solid food late at night, or maybe your appetite just isn't big in the evening, that's okay. A simple nighttime smoothie can work wonders as long as you skip the sugary add-ins. Here's a gentle idea. Blend half a banana, a spoonful of natural peanut butter, a splash of almond milk or dairy milk, and a sprinkle of cinnamon. That's it. Creamy, soothing, and packed with muscle-loving nutrients like potassium, protein, and magnesium. You can sip it slowly, feel cozy, and know your body is being supported. Imagine this. You're sitting in your favorite chair, maybe with a warm blanket across your lap, a cup of something nourishing in your hands. The house is quiet, and for the first time in a long time, you feel ready for bed. Not just tired, but cared for. Your body is full, calm, and supported. That's not a dream. That's your new normal. You see, aging isn't about giving up the things you love. It's about learning new rhythms, new ways to support the strength that's still there, waiting to come back to life. You are not fragile. You are rebuilding. Every time you nourish yourself, every time you stretch or move or rest with intention, you're showing your body that it's still worth investing in. And it is. So tonight, when you open the fridge or reach into the pantry, ask yourself, What can I give my muscles to thank them for carrying me this far? Whether it's a sweet potato mash, a few frozen cherries, a sprinkle of pumpkin seeds, or a warm smoothie that feels like a hug, you're sending your body a powerful message. We're not done yet. You're not too old. It's not too late. Your strength, your energy, your independence, they're still within reach. All it takes is consistency, a little knowledge, and a lot of heart. Picture this. It's the end of the day. The lights are low, the TV's off, and it's finally quiet. You've brushed your teeth, maybe put on your warmest pair of socks, and you're thinking about heading to bed. But before you turn in, there's one last, very important choice. What do you eat or not eat before you sleep? Because here's the truth that nobody tells us clearly enough. The wrong bedtime foods can silently drain your muscles, rob your energy, and leave you waking up weaker and more unsteady than the day before. But the right choices? They can rebuild you. They can turn a night's rest into a full-body reset, supporting muscle growth, better sleep, and more confident mornings. And I want to make sure you're choosing the right ones. Let's start with something many seniors don't realize is harmful: processed deli meats. Now, I know they're convenient. A slice of ham or turkey on a cracker might feel like a light, easy snack. But many of these meats are loaded with sodium, preservatives, and nitrates, all of which quietly trigger inflammation in your body. When your muscles are already working hard to rebuild overnight, adding these chemicals to the mix is like throwing sand in the gears. Even worse, most of these meats are low-quality protein. That means your body has to work harder to break them down, and you get far less of the amino acids your muscles actually need. So instead of helping your body heal, they leave you bloated, dehydrated, and tired. If you love savory snacks, swap deli meat for a slice of roasted chicken breast or a boiled egg. Your muscles will thank you, and you'll feel it in your step tomorrow. Now let's talk about something that sneaks its way into bedtime more often than we realize: alcohol. I know, a small glass of wine might feel like a way to wind down, and once in a while, sure, it may help you feel relaxed, but regularly having alcohol before bed interferes with your body's ability to enter deep sleep, which is when most muscle repair actually happens. Not only that, alcohol dehydrates your muscles, strips away magnesium, and disrupts your hormones, including growth hormone, which is critical for preserving lean muscle after 60. If you've ever had a nightcap and then woken up feeling stiff, tired, or groggy the next morning, now you know why. Your muscles were working, but they didn't have the support they needed to recover. Instead of alcohol, try something like a warm cup of chamomile tea or golden milk, a mix of turmeric and warm milk. These help reduce inflammation, support sleep, and actually nourish your muscles rather than draining them. Now, here's another surprising bedtime trap that far too many people fall into: refined carbs like white bread, cookies, and sugary cereals. You might think, it's just a little toast, or just a few crackers won't hurt. But these high glycemic foods spike your blood sugar, cause a crash during the night, and increase levels of a hormone called cortisol, your body's built-in stress chemical. Cortisol is a muscle-wasting hormone. When it's high for too long, like after poor sleep or a carb-heavy bedtime snack, it tells your body to break down muscle for energy. That means you can be eating plenty of protein, but if your cortisol's running the show, your muscles are still wasting away. So if you're craving something comforting, go for a complex carb with fiber and minerals, like a small serving of steel-cut oats with almond butter. It's still satisfying, but it supports your body's overnight rhythm rather than sabotaging it. Now, before we close this chapter together, there's one last piece I want to share. Because it's not just about what you eat. It's also about how you feel. If you've been noticing your balance slipping, or you're more tired after climbing stairs, or your arms just don't feel as strong when lifting the groceries, please know this isn't your fault. It's not weakness, it's not laziness, it's not just aging. It's a sign your muscles are missing something, and you now have the power to give it back to them. Every small change you've started making, whether it's that Greek yogurt, a few frozen cherries, or a warm smoothie, is already helping. You are reclaiming your strength, not by going to the gym for 2 hours, not by taking fancy pills, but by simply feeding your body what it needs to thrive. You are not too old to grow muscle. Science is clear. People in their 60s, 70s, even 80s can rebuild strength with the right food and movement. You can reverse that slow slide, that feeling that your legs don't want to follow your mind anymore. It's all about stacking these tiny wins, one day and one night at a time. So tonight, when you're settling in, remember this. That small scoop of cottage cheese with pumpkin seeds, that's not just a snack. That handful of tart cherries, that's not just a treat. That calm moment where you say, I'm worth taking care of, that is healing. You're creating a nighttime ritual that restores you, not just for the next day, but for the life you still want to live. Imagine waking up in a few weeks feeling steadier as you walk across the room. Imagine lifting your grandchild without a second thought. Imagine doing the things you love, gardening, cooking, dancing, without your muscles holding you back. That's not a fantasy. That's what happens when you give your body the nutrients it's quietly asking for. So here's to you, to stronger mornings, deeper sleep, and food that doesn't just fill your belly, but fuels your freedom. If this video helped you feel more hopeful, more informed, or more empowered, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and share your favorite bedtime snack, or even just a win you're proud of. Let's celebrate every step forward, together. And if you want more tips to stay strong, energized, and independent after 60, feel free to like and subscribe. Not because you have to, but because you deserve to feel supported. Here's to strong legs, better mornings, and living your best life after 60 and beyond. Sleep well, friend. You've earned it.